So, do you want to just double check that that we are on the bingo Twitch thing?
Yeah. I'm just loading up Twitch now.
Because actually, I can't see the chat or anything like I normally can because I'm not in my own, which is odd.
Yeah. So bingo is now streaming.
Excellent. So I just need to get into my channel so that I can also put it up to mine as well.
Your sound keeps cutting out.
Was it?
Your sound keeps cutting out.
Okay. I'll see if I can fix that. I don't know why that would be.
It seems to be fine now. Now that you're replying now, it seems all right, but just a minute ago it kept cutting out.
Weird. So let me. I'm almost there, but I can't do two things at once, as I said. So I just need to get my instructions. God, this is exciting, isn't it? Watching me looking at my iPad when I can't find what I want. So if I go with that, and then host, and then bingo, BBL. So hopefully we are now live in two places. Do you want to, if you haven't already, share the link on onto
the bingo?
Yeah, and then we'll crack on. Yeah. So yes, welcome to everybody. I have no idea who's watching us because I'm logged in as a guest. So as always, Danny's joining me for the insightful commentary, and I'm just here for, just make the numbers up, really. So what we're going to do, welcome to the pre-season for season 4. We are season 4 this time. Yep. This is a pre-season show for season 4. What we're going to do is talk through each of the divisions, have a little bit of a chat about each team. I've actually done some homework, made some notes, and let's see what happens. We will give our predictions as to who we think are either going to win the league or challenge the league for each division as we go along. But let's start off in the Not League, which is the highest TV league average. So as we can see, most teams are averaging around 1,500 TV, with Mr. Tiny Face's Dwarves at 1,620 and Wadness's team currently 1,200. We'll come on to why his TV is lower in a minute. So if we start off with looking at the ankle breakers for Mr. Tiny Face. So just while Dan's loading up so that he can see who's in the team and so on, I'll just quickly explain. Mr. Tiny Face didn't take any part in the draft. So this is his team from last season. Obviously, you can see an experienced team with SPP all over the place. Lots of block, guard, and tackle. 2 of his blitzers have got mighty blow, and he's got 3 re-rolls. So, to my mind, this looks like a really strong side. What's your take on it, Dan?
Yeah, so the Ankle Breakers are the only team in this division that's returning, and I think this is their 3rd season now, so they're way above the curve in comparison to all the other teams in the division. You've got 8 out of the 12 players that got guard, 11 out of 12 of them have got block. It's going to take some stopping to beat the Dwarfs.
Yeah, I think so. Early doors for saying who we think is going to win the league, but definitely Mr. Tiny Face is going to be there or thereabouts. I think we can confirm.
I mean, even if he doesn't win the league, I think he'd be a strong contender for making the play, getting the wildcard spots. Because can't see him losing more than one game. Well, I can't even see him losing a game, to be honest. It's just if he get converting those draws into wins, because obviously Dwarfs can be stopped from scoring. But so yeah, I don't think he's going to concede too many.
No, I think that's right. I think the strength and it's just I don't think anybody's going to look forward to playing against him. If we move on to Vexer with the Quebec Nordiques, if I've pronounced that right. So he was involved in the draft. First pick was Doc, who is the Chaos Dwarf blocker, which has got Mighty Blow, and one of your old players, Dan, Cesspool Sid, the disgusting gutter runner with Agility 6 and Block, who I'm sure will be one of the most targeted players in the entire league, and rightly so. So again, lots of re-rolls on this team. There's four re-rolls, and obviously core of the team is Orcs, so a decent amount of block with the blitzers as well. So again, I think this is going to be a strong side.
Yeah, I mean, cesspool sit on any team is something to be feared. Agility 6 and dodge, you can just go wherever you like. So he only needs to be a couple of squares in the opponent's half, and you can just score at will.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm at 9 across the team.
Yeah, I'm sure you're pleased that you've not got to face Cesspool Sid after you've created the monster. You're leaving for everybody else to have to deal with.
Well, I think for Vexer, he'll be hoping he doesn't have to face the Dwarfs for a while, because all of that block, tackle, mighty blow on the Dwarf team will probably put a dent in Cesspool Sid if
and that's a really interesting point, actually, because the order that you play other teams and so on can really affect how the team develops. And if you get a tough first game with a few injuries, it can really set your season back.
Yes, I think it's important to just mention that whilst it is mixed teams that we're using, you've got to have a core team. So for this team, for example, it's a core team of Orcs, and they've drafted in a gutter runner and a Chaos Dwarf blocker. If the gutter runner or the Chaos Dwarf blocker dies, they cannot be replaced. So if you lose Cesspool Sid in game 1 or something, then that's your season drastically changed.
Yeah, the whole plans that you've got for how you're going to play is immediately changed, aren't they? So. Moving on to one of the commissioners for the league, Nate, with his new side, Babylonian Best Life. So this is a mainly Khemri side. The two draft players that he went for here, draft pick number 1 was the Wolf, who Nico really did get a very strong Wolf here with. Combination of Blodge, also got Catch and Shadowing, which is a unique skill. Not many people take that. So the other draft pick was the Ghoul with Sure Hands as well. But what do you think about the Wolf with Shadowing there, Dan?
Well, I wouldn't say Shadowing, but it did quite well for him, actually. It did quite well for him in his last game before he retired the team. It nearly proved everyone wrong. But I think he's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting, that werewolf, in a team of Tomb Kings that aren't particularly a strong side.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that obviously there's only 2 other players that have got block, and the division that the Nate finds himself in, I know he's gone a lot more bashy than he has done in the last few seasons, but he's in Bash Division 1, isn't he? Let's be honest. So it's going to be tough with all that bashing. The entire division is bashy. He has got five re-rolls. I mean, that's the other thing that this division seems to have is is lots of re-rolls on almost all of the teams. I think the least anybody's got is 4.
Well, I think so. A lot of these teams they've got a starting salary of like $1,500 to spend, and so if you're not going to spend that in the draft, then you're kind of in a bit of a trap that you start spending it elsewhere, and you chuck it on a lot of rerolls that you don't need. You're probably better off just not spending your full amount and just taking inducements, so you could take wizards and bribes and so on.
Well, having said that, if you've not used your full TV, then you might have ended up in a different division as well. So it is really interesting the way that the divisions have been split this year, based more on the team value of the team rather than it being completely random. The next team for us to look at is Egger's team, a bunch of beardos. So obviously, predominantly Chaos Dwarf side. His first draft pick was a Thrall. Was called Thrall, an Oak Thrower, Orc Thrower even, an Oak Thrower. He's got Catch, and then we've also got Marcel Aussie Rip, who's got Mighty Blow, so the Storm Vermin there. So again, lots of block and tackle. Again, lots of re-rolls as well. So I think this is almost a poor man's version of Mr. Tinyface's team.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're one of the teams that will probably challenge against Mr. Tinyface.
I think so, yeah.
They haven't got the guard that the dwarfs have got, so they'll end up fighting on the dwarfs' terms almost.
Yeah,
It'll always be 2 dice uphill, and that's not going to work.
No, but yeah, I think to my mind, those 2 teams are really going to be very strong. But no, obviously, just those 2 drafted players, and then the rest of the team are fresh. So that's really where Mr. Tinyface has got the advantage with being a much more experienced team. So moving on to onto Namtar's team with the Dwarf Rats. So this team are the core are Skaven, and he drafted the Minotaur and the Blocker. So the Minotaur has got Claw and the Blocker's got Guard. Now in a division of Bash, this is the exception. So to my mind, I think he's probably going to be up against it with having sort of the low armor value. I mean, what's your take on Namtar's side this year?
Well, I've seen the first round of fixtures, and he has to play against the dwarfs first round.
Ooh.
So yeah, those go runners that have got dodge are effectively skillless when they're facing up against all that tackle.
Yeah.
So hopefully some of them survive for the rest of the season. One thing I did note is that he's got a Minotaur, but he's also got a Rat Ogre. Both of them have got Wild Animal. So every turn, only one of them is going to be able to do a blitz. So the other one can only do an action on a 4+, unless he's got someone stood next to him to hit them.
Yeah. And although he's got 5 rerolls, both of those players have got Loner as well, so it makes it even harder for them to do something.
Yeah. But I mean, he has got tools to crack some of these bashy teams and sack the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, the massive advantage that he's got, particularly over the Dwarves, is the manoeuvrability and the pace. So if he can avoid getting hit, he can 1, score very quickly, and 2, try and dodge out of the way, and so long as he's not based up where all that tackle then comes into play, but at least he's got the tools, as you say, to get away and cause problems up the other end of the pitch as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we move on to the last team in this division, which is Wadness with the Rottweilers. So this is predominantly an undead team. Now the TV for this team is only 1,200, and I think this was down to the players that he drafted weren't compatible with each other or the team he wanted to play. So he's ended up with a lot of wasted TV, really. So he's got a completely fresh side here.
I think that's been resolved with the commissioner. So I don't think the team we're looking at now is his final roster.
Okay.
I think he has drafted players that he can take now.
Right.
I'm sure it got fixed, and so he just needs to update his team, I believe. Not certain though.
Well, somebody will tell us in due course. I mean, as things stand, he's going to struggle. I think just purely from not having any experience. And on the flip side, if this is his final team, he's going to have piles of inducements every game. So, but yeah, let's not talk too much because we're not quite sure how that one will pan out. So. Go on, Dan. In your opinion, who's your one to watch? Who do you think's going to win the league?
Well, like I said earlier on, I think Tiny Face will be clearing away. I think he'll walk the division pretty much, and then it'll be a fight for second place, which could well end up being a playoff position. So I think between Chaos Dwarfs and maybe the Khemri, or maybe even Undead, to be honest. No, sorry, I'm not Undead. The Skaven with all those gut runners. You get your bad game out of the way first, and then you can go from there.
My pick. I mean, obviously, I'm also going to agree with Mr. Tinyface, but I think Vexer and Eggers are both going to be there or thereabouts as well. I think they're both very, very strong teams. Certainly, the Orcs with a gutter runner, the Agility 6, horrendously talented gutter runner that nobody wants to face, and I think also the bunch of beardos with obviously the players they've got. Other than Mr. Tinyface, I think he's got the tools to beat any of the other players. So yeah, that sums up the Not division. Obviously, in about 6 weeks' time, when anybody's watching this back, you can laugh at how inept our predictions were, as somebody else who we've not mentioned runs away with the league. So if we move on to the N division, and I think not just because I'm in it, but I think this is potentially the most interesting division from a point of view that anybody could beat anybody. If we start, just because I was the first one to go in, so my team, the Orcs Last Stand, completely kept my team. So I dropped a couple of players to bring my TV down. Also, didn't realise the rules, so I sacked my apothecary to get under my salary cap, which I didn't need to do. So I'm very hopeful that game one I don't get any deaths, otherwise I'm really going to be struggling. But my team, obviously quite experienced, block with my Orc Blitzers, along with one of them having a tackle and one with guard. We'll move on quickly from Holly Gibney because nobody wants to talk about her, and we don't want her to be targeted. And then Dickens, my thrower, also has big hand as well as kick. I'm not going to say too much, Dan. I think you need to be the one that does the analysis on my team.
Why did you pick kick on a thrower?
Basically because he levelled up and I felt I needed kick on the team. So yeah, that was no more planning than that.
Certainly a questionable choice. What I didn't know down was I reckon Holly Gibbon is probably the best player in the league.
No, I said we don't need to talk about Holly. She's there under the radar, doesn't cause anybody any problems, doesn't need to be targeted, and doesn't ever score any touchdowns. So
block, dodge, sidestep, movement 9, strength 3, agility 4.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
She's going to be targeted more than any other player in the league. I agree. And if she was on anybody else's team than mine, that is the person to go and target. But she's on my team, so leave her alone.
Well, I mean, you've got plenty of armor 9 across your team, so you should be able to protect her. And a lot of the time, it's only facing a 1 die hit. And with your sidestep, sometimes it's actually best not to hit them because you end up pushing them into a better square.
Yeah, that's the takeaway for everybody to take from. If you listen to nothing else, don't hit Holly because you put her in a better position. If we move on to Zenshu, who is playing with a Dark Elf team, so I'm sure will be in your heart as your team to look out for, being a Dark Elf player yourself. He has got a few injuries. Again, he's brought the team as is, and not been involved in the draft. So we've got first of all a Dark Elf Blitzer who is out, missed next game. Another Dark Elf Blitzer whose movement is down to 6.
He wants to sack that player immediately. He's got 100k in the bank. I would immediately sack that movement 6 blitzer, just replace him with a fresh blitzer.
Yeah, that would make sense.
7. You're not losing any SPP.
Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, the lineman who's injured at the end of the day is a lineman. Got dodge, but the one hit in movement probably doesn't matter because he's there to be cannon fodder anyway. 2 witch elves. Both of which have got block, and the thrower as well looks pretty good as well with nerves of steel, sure hand, and dodge.
It brings another dimension to the team because normally you're only looking at playing either a handoff or a quick pass with Dark Elves, but having that high elf thrower in there, you can really go for some long plays and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was redrafting for season 3. One of my considerations was doing exactly what Zenshu's done here and gone for a high elf thrower. So
yeah, and I mean he's got a decent amount of block in the team, plenty of agility and movement, so scoring threats everywhere. 2 witch elves, which really does give him maneuverability on both offense and defense as well. So I think again. Capable of beating any team in the division. So yeah, I think Zenshu's got a decent side there. If we move on to Horse Lover Fat with the Attack of the Cum Ghost.
I hope no children are watching.
We have got age-appropriate warnings before you go in. In fact, actually, I don't know if we have. On my channel we have. I don't know about the Bingo channel. Horse Lover Fat was very involved in the draft, one of only 2 players to draft 3 players. So he has a core Underworld team, and the 3 draftees are all Beastmen from Chaos. So one of which has got block and tackle, one has got prehensile tail, and the other one has got Dirty Player. Also, 2 of them have injuries. One which is a niggling injury, and the other one which is a hit to the armor value. My initial take on this side would be the armor value may be a concern. Lots of armor 7.
I mean, that's why he's got 15 players.
Yeah, well, that is true. But again, with the Underworld and Beastmen offer a little bit more in the way of those horns can really do some damage on the blitzing side of things. So Grand Tigor was in my team in the first season I played, which was season 2, and he didn't do a great deal for me. And I don't know whether that was because he wasn't very good or whether it's because I didn't make best use of him. I suspect it's more the second one.
Well, Tentacles is a good skill, but you don't get much value out of it when it's only a strength 3 player.
Yeah, no, that's right. But can be quite annoying, just trying to dodge away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can get stand firm on the player or block or something, so you're going to take a bit more moving, because at the moment he's only strength 3 and So you can easily push him away, or you can just dodge out and tentacles.
Talking about shadowing before, that might be an interesting complement with the tentacles as a future skill if he gets a promotion.
No, definitely not.
Well, I'd be tempted. If we move on to Blame with TMNG, which is a Chaos Nurgle sort of concoction, mostly Chaos. And the two draftees that he bought were the Nurgle Warrior, who I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, and Augustus. So both have block, and Augustus also has Mighty Blow. Looks pretty strong.
I mean, player Donkey Teeth looks quite an interesting player. Agility 4, sure hands.
Yeah, no, that's right. That Pestigore obviously kept him from last season, and I mean, I don't really want to play this team if I'm honest, because I think from a Bash point of view, obviously he's got 4 strength 4 players. He's got strength all over the place. Really, going to be tough to break the armor as well with all 8s and 9s.
I think a key point as well is all 4 of the strength 4 players have all got block now as well. So
and 2 of them have Mighty Blow as well.
Yeah, so you're not worried about those 1 in 9 blocks that go wrong.
No, that's right. The one concern perhaps might be only having 2 rerolls. But yeah, I mean, when I said before that anybody in this division is capable of beating anybody else, this is why I think it just has with a lot of teams that are either returning or have got experienced players, plus the draftees that have come in as well. I think it just is a really, really strong division, really. So moving on to Ash, who's got the big sewer bastards. He drafted. Yeah, we really need to have a warning on this site if we haven't. So he drafted a Goblin with Leap, which was Shankster, and also drafted Randall Flagg, who was my Rat Ogre from season 2. Now Randall Flagg has piling on. The only downside for Randall Flagg, apart from him being a Rat Ogre, of course, is he has lost 1 armor value. So his armor value is only 7, but he is a killer, that is for sure. Mighty Blow. He's got Frenzy as well. The Prehensile Tail. I'm concerned playing against him just because I know that because he's my old player, he's going to kill one of my players, probably Holly Gibney, and then I will go and cry somewhere in a corner all by myself. But no, I mean, Ash has got a good team as well. Obviously, core of the team is Underworld. He's got a couple of big guys, again, as one of the other teams that we mentioned before, with having both the Troll and the Rat Ogre. But yeah, what's your take on Ash's side?
I think it's the one team in the division that's going to be fighting a bit of an uphill battle, really. I don't think either of his draft picks were particularly going to help as much. I mean, a Goblin with Leap. It's funny, but it's going to go wrong, isn't it? And then it's going to go splat, and then the Rat Ogre's only armor 7, so...
Yeah, and I think that's probably why he wasn't drafted last season, because I think until the armor value dropped, I think he'd have been a decent shout for people looking for a killer. But yeah, you're right, that armor value of 7 just makes him very fragile. And especially, I can't remember, have we had some players in this league that have got Dirty Player? If he's done piling on and he's down on the floor, that might not be a nice place for him to be.
Yeah.
But then last in this team is that dude playing with elves. So This is a fresh team, not involved in the draft. But I think again, Elves, although there are a lot of Bash teams in this league, there's also it's not exclusively Bash like the first division was. So I think this has the ability to beat anybody. I'd say it's probably not one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league, but on its day could beat anybody.
Yeah, well, I think he's got some salary left to spend. I would have thought he would buy an extra player because he's only got 11 at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
He played as Wood Elves a couple of seasons ago, and he almost won the division that season. I suspect he'll do very well this season.
I think so. Yeah. No. So I mean, what's your prediction for the league? Who do you think? Can you make a call on who'll win it?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go for it. I reckon Blaine's going to win the league.
Okay.
And I reckon second will be between you and that dude playing. I reckon.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm excluding myself out of this prediction, and I know this is going to come across as sitting on the fence. I'm really struggling to think who will win it because, like I say, I think genuinely anybody could beat anybody. I mean, the team that I'm least looking forward to playing is probably Horse Lover Fat, I think, probably. But I'm not looking forward to playing Blaine either. So, yeah, one of them two, I think, is probably most likely to win. But anybody could. It really could, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that so that you will go easy on me, because I know that's going to be quite the reverse. So, yeah, well, that sums up quite a woolly prediction from me. If we go into Jack, and my game is frozen, so I'm struggling to give me through who's on the next team. Nadrak is first up with Knight of Kings. He's playing Bretonnians. He drafted Autumn and Falls Amazon Lime Woman, the one that's got +1 strength and wrestle, and also drafted a human throw with safe throw. He's got lots of wrestle on this team. That's the one thing that I noted down when I was looking at it earlier on. I think this is one of the stronger teams in the league, in my opinion.
Yes, I mean, you didn't mention the fact that Jack's just a stunty league. We've got vampires, we've got ogres, and we've got halflings in the league.
Well, I was going to come on to that at the end. I think Jack is going to be really interesting to call, and he's going to be massively affected by the dice as well. With ogres and vamps, all that loner and bloodlust is going to be interesting from a observer's point of view.
It's going to be frustrating playing, is it?
But I mean, looking at Nadrak's team, it's a proper team. In the fact there isn't any of those gimmicky teams. And actually, I mean, he's a good player anyway. There's no doubt about that. And he's got good skills on the Bretonnians as well. So,
well, he got to the semi-finals last year.
Yeah.
Looking at this team, I mean, like you said, there's all that block, all of that wrestle. They'll be very good at controlling the pitch, I think.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have taken that human thrower. I don't really see too much benefit from it, particularly with safe throw. I think that's a great skill, but it does open up another avenue if he needs to get a quick touchdown. He's got a player that's got pass, and then he's got 3 players with catch and movement 7, so he can quite easily get a 2-turn touchdown. If push for time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just give it an option.
Then next up, we've got new coach on the block, Luke. He's playing Tree Bear Troops, which is an elven team. So he was involved in the dodge as well. In the draft as well. He brought in a lineman with block, and a lineman with dodge. It doesn't have a lot of skills to start off, though, this side.
No, but I mean, it's got 2 rookie war dancers, which are just as good as any player available in the draft.
Yeah.
And after game one or 2 of them could have both leveled up, and suddenly the team looks ridiculously scary to face.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, that's the thing with the Elven teams. Any player could score at any time, almost. And even if you get an Elven team down to a handful of players left with that lack of armour, they still have threats all over the pitch. So, yeah.
Well, on the flip side, like game 1, a war dance could die, and then you don't really fancy his chances of doing so much for the rest of the season. So
yeah,
it can all go really, really well, or it could fall flat on its face.
Yeah,
and that is the way of elves, I think.
Well, that is true. And speaking of falling flat on the face, Mickey's playing flings. So so again, a new coach to the league. I apologise to him for introducing him to this madhouse, but he's joined us from Tiki League as well. So yeah, he's playing flings with a completely new side, two treatment and all the rest, just basic flings. So going to have massive inducements every game, that's for sure. I think, did he also take an enhancement on his stadium?
Yep, so he's got the one where you get star players at a cheaper price.
Yeah,
which will be a huge advantage for him, because 4 of the 5 teams that he's playing in this league are mixed teams which don't have access to star players.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to take full advantage of that, bringing in Puggy Bacon Breath or Deep Root, and yeah, the opponent's not going to get any advantage back.
No, I mean, obviously flings, we all know are a tough team to play if you're hoping to win, but can be a really good fun team to play.
Yeah.
But can also cause upsets as well, because you just never know how it's going to go with them.
Well, that's it. I mean, so for his opponent in every game when he plays, the opponent will go into it expecting to win, and you even getting a draw, you feel like you've lost when you're playing against halflings, and so you kind of put pressure on yourself, and then you end up losing because you've gone for a bit of a Hail Mary play and it's gone wrong, and take advantage.
And the flings they've got the 1-turn options with the treeman throwing the flings, and it can't be that hard to score 1 turn with flings, because I've done it twice. Hammered in both games, but it shows it can be done. So, but if we move on to Season 1 champion Owulf, who is playing Unbridled Wrath, an ogre team this year. So again, the massive potential for the dice to really affect the outcome. Initially, he wasn't going to take any re-rolls. He's seen sense and taken 2. Couple of three draftees, 2 Black Orcs and 1 Saurus. Both 2 of the 3 have got block, and the other Black Orc has sure hands. So could be an interesting choice of ball carrier on a Black Orc. But I mean, ogres again. If they succeed with the boneheads, are just, he's going to love the mighty blow, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Well, he is. He's mindless violence personified, really.
Looking forward to playing against them?
Sorry?
Are you looking forward to playing against them?
Got on first game of the season, I think.
Oh, well, that'll be a great game to watch. So if that is a time where streaming is available, that will definitely be on the stream. But speaking of your team, so Biter Munich, double bingo Blood Bowl champion and co-commentator, and the person who actually has some sort of insight when we do these things, playing vampires.
Yeah, it's not going to go very well, is it?
So you took a couple of players on the draft. You brought in Nero the Gull and Brian the Vanquisher the White, who looks like he's going to be a killer with Mighty Blow and piling on.
Yeah, I'm trying to channel my inner oaf. And, I wasn't my initial plan, to be honest. I was originally going to take Superior Beings team and take some Chaos Dwarfs, but a low draft pick meant that got scuppered early on, so I had to switch to go down the undead route.
Yeah, so I mean, again, could be a really interesting team, and the dice could make a huge difference with the Bloodlust. You have only got 2 vampires, so reducing your risk there, I suppose. And obviously vampires are, statistically are incredibly strong players if they pass their Bloodlust. They've got Hypno Gaze, agility and strength is both really high as well. But having said that, you do like to eat your own team, so...
Yeah, I mean, I only had 1.1 million to spend for my salary, and so couldn't really afford any more vampires unless you take out Frowls or take out rerolls.
You see, you're not going to get sympathy for having a low TV because you've got that because you keep beating everybody else.
It's not going to happen this season.
Last team finishing up on the Jack League is Blackadder's 11. So Cantor starting with a new team. Again, a couple of interesting draft choices. He's got Sroth, the Orc Blitzer, who's got a +1 movement and also has Mighty Blow as well. And then the Black Orc with both block and Mighty Blow. So lots of block and tackle on this side with the Chaos Dwarves. So again, to my mind, I would say is probably the challenger with Nadrak for the league.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Well, I mean, it depends how it goes, really. It's another division where it's probably quite hard to pick a winner. I don't expect either myself or Owolf to particularly challenge, because even if you play well with ogres or vampires, you're going to have 1 or 2 games where it just goes wrong with the dice, with Bloodlust or with Bonehead. So I can't imagine those 2 challenge. Very difficult for halflings, I would imagine. So, yeah, certainly between Nadrak, Luke, or Cantor.
Yeah. But again, really, really close division to call, and with having both of the ex champions, although obviously your current holders as well, will make for interesting viewing for the rest of us. That's for sure. So moving on to Man Division, which is obviously the last remaining division to go through.
I don't think you gave us a prediction, did you, on Jack?
I think my guess would be Nadrak, pushed all the way by Cantor. They were my picks.
Okay, yeah.
So I did get it in there, just So with Man, we have Joe up first with the Looney Goons. He's playing Goblins this season. So after all of his shenanigans with Kislev last year, he's gone for even more madness with the Goblins. So he did make a draft pick, which was Zdeno Chara, which is the troll. And the troll has pro, I think, but also has a permanent hit to the armor value, dropping down to 8, which I'm going to hope that Joe doesn't come back and punch me when I say that armor value 8 shouldn't cause him a problem, as he then dies in game 1. But Goblins always an interesting, fun team to play. So yeah, what do you reckon with the side he's got?
Well, that's the challenge himself, doesn't he? Last season he played as Kislev, as if that wasn't hard enough. He managed to make it to the playoffs with them.
Yeah,
probably should have got to the final, really, if it wasn't for a 2+ leap that failed with reroll.
Well, that's right.
Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, don't write him out, but it's going to be a struggle, I think, with the Goblins. But I think Joe knows that, and I think he's for this season he's just wanting to have a lot of fun with it. But I think he'll be fun to watch, that's for sure. So we've then got another new coach joining us, Lanikas, with the team Oops All Chaos, which is mostly chaos. He drafted in a couple of Nurgle players. They brought in a Nurgle warrior and a Beast of Nurgle. Beast of Nurgle's got block and the warrior's got guard. Looks like a strong team.
Yeah, I mean, there's that Beast of Nurgle straight away, that sticks out with block. It looks fantastic. And then you also, which kind of flew under the radar, you got 5 strength 4 players.
Yeah,
it's a very strong team.
Yeah, and as well, he's also got 5 players with horns as well. So
yeah,
that makes the blitz a 2 dice against most players, doesn't it? So
yeah, I mean the only problem is that it's a rookie chaos team, and so you got no skills to start with, kind of thing. So
yeah, no, that's
things could go wrong.
Yeah. So next up we have Magic Guy, which the team is Sylvanian Neckties, another vampire team. So we've gone from having no vampires to 2 vampire teams, and he's gone for 3 vampires. Also drafted a couple. So the draftees he's brought in were the Necro Flesh Golem with what's he got? He's got block and dodge. And then the Ghoul with a plus agility. So again, the Flesh Golem with Blodge effectively is going to be nobody's going to want to face him, and the Agile Ghoul's going to be great for carrying the ball. And then you just never know what happens with the vamps, do you?
Yeah, Blodge plus stand firm, so it's almost just like don't even bother hitting him.
Yeah, he's not
going to hit him, and then you when you get a push, he stands there and he's going to hit you back next turn.
That's right.
Sound appealing.
Yeah, and he's going to hit you hard as well.
Yeah, but 3 vampires. That sounds a bit more fun than my team.
4 re-rolls, which with these teams, particularly the vampires, you're gonna burn through those very quickly. You would guess. But yeah, again, I'm really looking forward to seeing how the vampires go. So President Eric comes next. Joyous Jerks with a Chaos Dwarf team. He's drafted Bruce Bryan, another one of your disgusting gutter runners. This one with block and sprint, and also Claude Debussy, the Black Orc with block and a strength level up. So he's got a big guy in the Black Orc with no nega trait.
You're not showing much respect to these former champions or current champions. First Cesspool Sid and now Bruce Bryan.
Well,
it's outrageous.
Well, I'm sure they've got shoulders that are wide enough to take the. Everybody knows that you only give this sort of critique out to the players that you're most worried about.
Yeah, I mean, you're right to be worried about Bruce Bryan. He's got a hat trick in the final last season.
Yeah, and I mean, Eric's got a strong side here, hasn't he? All that block and tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I played against it in a pre-season friendly. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
Pull your hair out against it. I mean, it ticks every box really. So I'd say all those chaos off blockers. You got the centaurs that have effectively movement 9 with having sure feet and sprint.
Yeah.
And strength 4. You got the Minotaur with frenzy, mighty blow. You got a strength 5 block, black arc, and then you got Bruce Bryan who can score a 1-turner if need be.
Yeah.
So
I played against this team on Friday as well, and it's strong all over the pitch. Very, very tough team to break down, and as you say, can hit you from anywhere with the gutter runner. So,
I mean, the only problem he's got is he's only got 2 rerolls, but most of his team's got.
Yeah, he's block. He's going to do all right, I think. So the last team currently in the league is Hooflexer, again, the new coach with Trashmen United. It's an undead team, and he drafted the Khemri Tomb Guard, which has got Mighty Blow, Break Tackle, and Guard, and Dr. Dre also got Break Tackle. So again, a strong team. Couple of strength 5, couple of strength 4, decent armor value across the piece as well. Going to be a tough match, I think, for anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very similar to the Stinkers, who have got to the final the last 2 seasons. They had a big undead strength 5, strength 4 kind of wall of players.
Also, he's got two wolves as well, which are always fun to play against. We're waiting for the final team to join the man division. He'll be in the next couple of days, I believe. But your pick for man as it stands, with one team missing.
I think Eric is got a big chance there. The Joyous Jerks.
Yeah, I'd agree.
They're looking very strong.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think Hooflex XL will be up there as well. But I think Eric probably just to just pinch it as things stand.
Yeah, definitely. I think those 2 teams, and even Oops All Chaos. Those 5 strength 4 players plus the Beast and Nurgle. Yeah, I think they're outside chance maybe.
Yeah. So that's really covered all of the teams for the new season. Hopefully you found it enjoyable and informative. Don't forget the takeaway piece was don't hit Holly Gibney. She will only get pushed into a better position. That's for all my fellow end coaches, especially in game 1 when I haven't got an apothecary. But no, I'm really looking forward to this season. It's Bingo is by far my most fun league to be in. I think we've got a cracking bunch of coaches, really good amount of banter as well. So, I just think the sooner it starts and then we can all get back on the pitch and start to see what happens. So, any final thoughts from you, Dan?
No, just echoing what you just said. It is my favourite league too. Really good community and the Discord channel. I think we start this week, don't we?
Yeah. I'm hoping that my game's going to happen next few days. I'm really excited by it. So, we've missed a few messages that have come in. So, it looks like me and Zenshu, we're up first, and we'll be playing very soon. So, anyway, thank you all for watching. Good luck for the season, and may Nuffle go with you.